Good afternoon and welcome to Black Project Unscripted. This is our second episode that we filmed. We successfully made it through the pilot edition and thank you for all your comments, feedback, questions. This isn't something that comes supernaturally to me being on camera, so this is my opportunity to try and share some of our insights about paddling and our philosophies on how we build paddles and fins, and hopefully help you understand your choices and your paddling a little bit more. First question we've got today is about handles, and people do ask, what handle should I have? Perhaps you're used to some other terminology, like an ergo handle or a palm grip or so on. Well, we've simplified that for you, and we have two different types of handles. If you're surfing, you're going to want to use the SurfGrip. It's pretty simple. It has a flat front, curved on the back. It's optimized for surfing, giving direct sort of feel back to let you know where the paddle is and so on. And for everything else, from recreational touring to fitness to racing to foiling, then you're going to want to use the PowerGrip. This is a handle we developed a few years ago, and this has got a much more curved feel all the way around. It's designed for obviously more paddle strokes and being super comfortable in that sense. So for surfing, aptly named the SurfGrip, right? For everything else, use the PowerGrip. Okay, we get a lot of questions about fins, and the main theme of it is, if I go smaller, am I going to go faster? And that answer is difficult because it depends on a number of factors. Firstly, I'm going to say is you're not fast if you're falling off. So a bigger fin like the Ray is going to keep you tracking straight, right? You're going to have a bit more stability, right? And you can focus on your paddling, and you're going to be faster, right? Smaller fin, like the Condor, right? Yes, theoretically it's going to be faster, and in the right hands it's going to be faster, but you need to make sure you're confident with your stability and your tracking, right? So with the Ray, for example, I can pretty much paddle on one side without ever changing, right? Just foot steer and use the paddle to go straight. Whereas the Condor, I'm going to be needing to change sides every 8 to 12 strokes, depending on the conditions. So you can see how that affects, your stability and tracking confidence in that sense, right? So I know that, on a super narrow board, I'll go with a bigger fin. And if I'm on a board that I'm really comfortable with, I'll go on a smaller fin. It's as simple as that. So yes, going the smallest that you can comfortably go is going to be the fastest. But the Ray is going to be a big improvement for many people, and you can gradually work your way down through the sizes if you need to. My favorite part is advising people on what paddle they should get, and we've got one here. This is my favorite part now of Unscripted, is that we're going to make this each time get a person's specifications, and me have to then give some suggestions. Okay, so let me read this out so we know what we've got here. 5'2", 125 pounds, small hands, racing, 35 years old, no injuries, training mostly for longer distances. Okay, so what paddle should this person get? So we're going to want a long distance race paddle. So we're going to be looking at the Hydro Synergy X. You could also look at the new Nexus as well. And based on 125 pounds, look at the size chart. If you look at the size chart, it's going to say extra small. Okay, extra small is the right size there. And 125 pounds, you're going to want the TourCarbon 90 shaft. It's a more flexible shaft based on weight, especially at 5'2". It's going to be quite a short paddle and therefore not a huge amount of leverage. Okay, so let's recap that. 5'2", 125 pounds. Actually got small hands, so the TourCarbon 90 shaft is going to be really good. It's a little bit thinner, and mostly for long distance. We're going to want to reduce that fatigue as much as we can. A little bit more flex in the shaft, and a smaller blade is going to be ideal. So extra small with a TourCarbon 90 is going to be perfect. Okay, so I got this very specific question just a couple of days ago, so I thought it was a really good one to highlight and share. And we're looking particularly at the TourCarbon shaft here, and some of these things can apply to the other shafts as well. But the TourCarbon shaft is our premium range that we use, and you find this on the Hydro Synergy X, the Hydro Sprint X, the new Nexus, the Foil X, and so on. The first thing that you need to remember is that the higher the number, the higher the flex number, let's have a look here, get the right way around, higher the flex number here, the more flexible it's going to be. So this is a 45, which means that this doesn't bend very much. It's really stiff, right? Whereas let's find one here, this is an 80. So that's telling you the higher number is a measurement that it bends more. Okay, for the same force, this is going to bend more. So that's the basics, right? The higher number, the more it bends. The lower number, the less it bends. People sometimes get that the other way around. That's just the first thing that you need to worry about, and much of the other things kind of falls into place. What you'll see here is comparing, we've got a 70 shaft here and a 45 shaft here. You'll also notice the different lengths, okay? So within the TourCarbon range, we have different shapes of shaft, and they're tailored to fit different people. So it's not just the flex, we're actually changing the shape slightly so it fits, you know, different people. So for example, this 45 shaft here is longer, right? And you can build a much longer paddle, right? Whereas this shaft here, which is this is an 80 and a slimmer version, the 27.5 version, it's an 80. It's built so that the transitions from round to oval and back to round happen much quicker, so that you keep this flexible part of the shaft, right? So here it's already down to its minimum. This one's 21 millimeters compared to on the 45 shaft, right? It doesn't get round until back up to here, right? So you can see it's coming in here in terms of that. So that's the difference, right? So like the point being is, you know, in these two shafts, they might seem similar when you're looking at them. They both have a taper on, they both start as round, they both go to oval, they both end up round, but everything else about them is different. Now, that's because we're all different. And by following the guides on the website and asking questions, essentially picking the shaft that is recommended for your height and weight, you're going to experience the same thing no matter what size you are. So if you're a big paddler with the TourCarbon 45, which is also wider in the hands for bigger hands as well, then you're going to have a similar experience to someone who is much, much smaller with a much shorter paddle, with, you know, this is the 80 or the 90, the thinner version. So that's why we've done a lot of that work for you. You just need to look at the charts and see where you're at on that sense, in that sense, to pick the one that you need. But just with the knowledge that we are actually making it all work behind the scenes for you to be optimized for you based on your size and length. So we get a lot of questions about three-piece paddles, and I'll be honest, I don't think it's something we've done a great job of explaining online, so it's a good opportunity to show it to you. The question usually is, you know, I'm going to travel or haven't got much storage. Is it okay to use a three-piece, and how do they work? Well, look, what we use is a hex join here, right? And then that is got hex on the inside of the other piece. There's no ugly clamp, which you might see elsewhere. That just slides in like that. Simple push pin, nice and secure. Push the pin in, take it apart. Super easy. Nice and secure. Take it apart. This is an adjustable version, so you can see that just slides in, if I get the right way around. Slides in, okay. Put it together. Ready to go paddling. So completely slim there, no different to a normal paddle, okay. Three-piece paddle. Now, one thing you need to remember is always to take this apart when you finish using it, and it's a good idea to wash it out with fresh water as well to get rid of any salt or any sand. Okay, so that's your three-piece paddle. Now this is a three-piece adjustable paddle. Now we also have another option. This is for our surge. We have this. We've traditionally in our race paddles, we've had this option as well. And the foil paddle, you can have this option too. And this is what we call a 2x hex shaft. As you can see, from looking at it, you couldn't tell what it is, right? but this has actually got 2 of the hex joins, and then it's cut to your length. Okay, so this is a real premium option here for our surf paddles. We use some of these on our foil paddles and sometimes on the race paddles from custom order. But you can get the Surge paddle online like this, which is great for travel. Let's put our pieces back together. Super simple. And then this is cut to your specific length, and you've got a almost one piece like experience, but in a really convenient travel option.